This is ANN News Brief.
Good morning, I'm Lucy Adeyemi. The United Nations has called for an independent investigation into the sudden death of the former Egyptian President Mohamed Morsi. UN Human Rights Office says concerns were raised over Morsi's detention conditions, including access to adequate medical care and his prolonged solitary confinement. 67-year-old Morsi collapsed on Monday while appearing in court on espionage charges. He was buried overnight with his family in attendance. His group, the Muslim Brotherhood, has accused Egyptian authorities of slowly and deliberately killing him during his 6 years in custody. Local media said the former president has suffered a heart attack. Meanwhile, Egypt is reported to have lashed out at the United Nations, branding its calls for an independent inquiry into the death of former President Mohamed Morsi as an attempt to politicize events. Media quoted Egyptian Foreign Ministry spokesman Ahmed Hafez as saying he condemned the UN's suggestions in the strongest terms. He says Morsi's death was a case of natural death. A local Malian mayor said on Tuesday attacks on 2 villages in central Mali have left at least 38 persons dead. The victims are reportedly mostly from the Dogon ethnic group. The attacks on Mongafani and Yoro, carried out by unidentified gunmen on motorbikes, appear to be the latest round of violence in a series of ethnic clashes, compounding a dire security situation in Mali, where ethnic militias regularly slaughter civilians from rival groups. Islamist militants are also active. President Ibrahim Boubacar Keita's government has vowed to disarm the militias, but has struggled to do so. People are now criticizing his government for failing to stamp out violence. On Tuesday, 2 labor unions representing civil servants called on state administrators in the Mopti region, where most of the attacks have occurred, to leave their post and decamp to the regional capital due to death threats. A government statement quoted by the AFP news agency describes the incidents as terrorist attacks. We'll be back after this short break.
There is a new all-news network on the scene in Nigeria to give news from a purely news perspective and to promote free information flow across Africa. Fresh views, unbiased, bold, with a purely African view. African News Network, ANN, in a truly African spirit.
Tunisia has held the 2019 Envirotec and Energy Expo at the country's Confederation of Industry, Trade and Handicraft headquarters in Tunis. This year marks the 6th edition of the international event, which focuses on environmental technologies and renewable energy with the aim to raise awareness among stakeholders to the importance of environmental protection, renewable energy and waste management. At least 40 companies and startups operating in the fields of waste collection and recovery, water treatment, renewable energy technologies and green employment took part in the event.
I have designed modern bins which collect huge quantities of waste. It changes the perception, attitude and behavior of citizens towards waste management, which is a priority in any city.
Tunisia has the expertise in the field of environmental technologies and renewable energies. This fair is a platform for the leading enterprises and research institutes to work together on developing new technologies.
The objective of this exhibition is to present new strategic orientations in the field for a more green industry and ecological construction. That's CNN News Brief. For details on these and other stories, visit our website, nnafrica.news. Conversation continues on our social media platforms, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at NN Africa TV. I am Lucy Adeyemi.